Critics of U.S. foreign policy argue that American efforts at changing Iran's leadership are one of the principal reasons that relations between the two countries are where they are today. Let's explore that by going back some 7 decades to 1953, when the U.S. helped stage a coup against Mohammad Mossadegh. He was the democratically elected prime minister at the time, and he pledged to nationalize the country's oil fields, a message that was popular among his people because it promised to keep more of the profits generated by Iranian oil for Iranians. That idea, as you might imagine, was not very popular in Great Britain, which had a huge stake in Iranian oil at the time, and also for the United States, which actively sought to prevent the spread of communism during the Cold War. Back then, the West's ultimate goal was to consolidate the power of a monarch, Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, and as well to appoint a new prime minister, General Fazlollah Zahedi. Part of what became known as Operation Ajax involved the CIA, with help from the UK, stoking fervor with propaganda and large-scale protests against Mossadegh's populist coalition. Protesters were soon bolstered by support from the Iranian army, and the then democratically elected leader was forced into house arrest. Meantime, the CIA covertly provided the new government with financial stability, as many as $5 million. Iran spent decades with a Western-backed PM and Shah in place, though many resented the foreign influence and their alleged corruption and oppressive tactics against dissidents, which stoked anti-American sentiment for decades. In the late 1970s, all of that resentment boiled over into what is now known as the Islamic Revolution. Millions of Iranians organized against the regime and took to the streets. Secular protesters opposed the Shah's authoritarianism, while Islamist protesters opposed his agenda to modernize Iran. By 1979, the Shah was forced to flee into exile, and the Islamic Revolution ushered in the start of clerical rule, the same one that's in place today. In its wake, Iranian students seized the U.S. embassy and detained more than 50 Americans as hostages, some of which were held for some 444 days. The current Iranian regime, we should note, became arguably even more repressive than its predecessor, especially against dissidents and women. We should also point out that some of these details remained completely secret until 2013, when the CIA declassified records confirming that the U.S. was involved, instrumental in this coup. It's been argued that what happened in Iran is a textbook case of the boomerang effect in international relations, where one state's attempt to influence another can backfire, in this case, dramatically.
Hitting the heart of Tehran. Israel's campaign expands every day. CNN has been analysing these Israeli strikes using satellite imagery, video and publicly available data. We found some were extraordinarily precise, taking out key regime members in their own apartments, while others destroyed whole buildings, killing and injuring civilians. This video shows an apartment building hit by missiles in Tehran on June 13th. We geolocated it to this residential street in the centre of the city. We then cross-referenced the location with a list of addresses of key political and military figures from a public database leaked by activists. The address matched that of a nuclear scientist, Ahmed Reza Zolfagari. Iran confirmed the scientist's death, but aftermath footage shows the human toll could be far greater than one person. A whole building turned to rubble. That same night, this residential building collapsed after a strike. Though it's unclear if it was Israel's intended target or collateral damage, the building is here, in Chamran, an upmarket Tehran neighbourhood. And just 1,000 feet away is a military complex, multiple buildings, all belonging to Iran's Ministry of Defence, and still standing. Once again, aftermath footage indicates the likelihood of a heavy civilian toll. Medical staff reported at least 40 people died in this attack, including as many as 15 children. By the second day of its assault, Israel claimed it killed over 20 members of Iran's security apparatus, including senior commanders. Over the following days, they hit more key institutions, like this oil depot on the outskirts of town. and the Iranian state broadcaster under fire while live on air. But throughout, the civilian toll grows. These strikes, which we geolocated here to Orkideh, a wealthy neighbourhood in central Tehran, killed a young Iranian poet along with her entire family. The strike was likely targeting Abdulhamid Manuchahar, the head of nuclear engineering at a university, who, according to Iranian media, lived in the building. As rescue workers dug through the rubble of his home, his university confirmed he had been killed. Israel's recent strikes on Iran follow their operations in Lebanon and Gaza that also took out key military and political leaders. Yahya Sinwar, the leader of Hamas, pictured here in Gaza in this now infamous drone video, seconds before his assassination. But the civilian toll, once again, prompts questions around Israel's proportionality and decision-making on striking targets in such densely populated areas. Katie Pogley, CNN, London.
Let's get you now to CNN's Jeremy Diamond, also in Tel Aviv, who is standing by in the aftermath of a strike in a residential area. I understand, Jeremy, that the location is relatively close to the stock exchange. For those who may know Tel Aviv, just explain where you are and what you are seeing at this point. What happened?
Yeah, we are just on the outskirts of Tel Aviv, and you can see behind me, this is the building that was struck by that Iranian ballistic missile. We actually went into the building. We were able to see the impact site, which was just on the side of this building, right where you can see that the whole facade here has been torn apart by the power of the blast of this ballistic missile. And I think we can probably walk into this site as well, and I can show you a little bit the destruction that is all around here. You can see these vehicles that have been damaged by the power of this blast, and debris lying on the road that would be leading to the underground parking lot beneath this building. This is also, a busy commercial residential area. The building that was struck has apartment buildings. It also has offices. And here you can see that there are shops. There's a barber shop right here that was damaged by the blast. A corner store, where people might get their basic provisions. Oh my goodness. And as you can see, still quite a dangerous situation with debris still falling. That man was just struck actually by a falling, I hope he's okay. He was just struck by a falling signage on the side here. So, that's why we're wearing this helmet, this safety equipment, because we are still seeing windows falling, pieces of metal collapsing as well, as rescue crews continue to work here to not only clean up the debris, but to ensure that it is safe, once again, for people to walk here.